A fantastic evening, everyone. Here we have entered the beautiful month of December. Wishing you all a great end to the year while we're all getting excited for great weekends, exciting celebrations. Let me also tell you that we have something interesting coming up for all of you the next week, the coming week. I understand a lot of you will have different plans, but I would just say put a standstill for all of it. We have an education session, so I'm a very renowned speaker. Right? We really request each one of you to be there on time so we can start off on time. With that, we also have an update from our past president, Toastmaster Gaurav.
Good evening, everyone. So last week I announced that I'm accepting nominations for the next term executive committee. For more details, you can check my mail that I sent last week. And anybody interested, please do send in the nominations before 20th of December. And for more details, you can check my mail. And if any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you.
That education session name is suspense or something? Because you are not told what.
No, the education session is by DTM Pawan, who also is supposed to be my boss and also an exceptional speaker. He's an international trainer. Each hour of his generally runs in the range of 25 to 35,000. So a good session that I have demanded out of him, not even requested. I can make some demands. So we'll definitely have a very interesting session is what I'm hoping.
I will receive next week on not
But recording
We'll record it.
Recording.
I record the
Yeah.
because Pawan we know from he's our old Toastmaster.
from
Right.
his childhood,
Huh?
from his childhood or teenage.
No, what I told him is, Pawan, do you want me to ask you or shall I give K Prabhakara your number? No, I'm coming.
And we have seen him for a long time.
I don't know if you remember him, so he remembers, I think, everything about it. Yes, Joe.
What is the topic of the
I don't want to give the entire movie's climax. It will definitely be around communication and leadership. What we all signed up for. Right. With that, I think after a brief period of time, we have our favorite sergeant who is back. So let's give a nice round of applause and get our sergeant on the way.
So welcome, wordsmiths and wanderers, to our weekly whimsical and today also wistful vocal workshop. In other words, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome, dear guests. I hope all of you left your Monday blues outside the door when you walked in, because there is no place for that here, right? And that's why we have a dustbin outside. But in case you're attached to your blues, leave them on the stand outside and pick them up on your way out of here, right? Because we know that this Monday meeting will definitely melt away all your Monday monotony. So the theme for today is Good Evening Nostalgia. What is nostalgia? It is a wonderful blend of sentiment and affection that we have for special moments in our past. A touch, a smell, a book, a picture, anything can transport us back to that time that we hold so dear. Any Kumarans alumni here? All right. I'm a Kumarans alumni too. So I went to the school here. For those of you who don't know, it's a popular school around this area of Bangalore, and it's not far from here. So every time I drive down that road, I look for that street corner, I look for that street corner where I used to stand and chat non-stop with my friends. And when I just look at that corner, just that visual, in a moment it transports me to that time when I was like a giggly teenager. All I wanted to do was stand there and talk with my friends. An hour, 2 hours would go by, and then we would all look at our watches and scream, my God, how is it so late? And then I see that when I look at the road, all the traffic just melts away for a moment, and I see the four of us cycling down that road. So that's the ability of nostalgia. It has that magical ability to take you back in time, right? And today, we celebrate that tapestry of memories. So, given this theme, I invite all of you Toastmasters to reflect on your Toastmaster journey so far, right? take a minute to reminisce on where you started, how far you've come, where you're headed. Look at the friendships that you forged, the lessons that you learned, and also definitely celebrate the milestones that you've all achieved, right? This person that I know, when I talk about reminiscing, has a lot to reminisce about his childhood. Apparently, he used to always have at least 20 scars on him at any given time. And he spent a lot of time outside the classroom rather than inside. So his mom was spending a lot of time at school, right? But this person turned out to be a true protean as he grew up. Did many careers, started off in sales, then trained about 10,000 students in personality development, and now today leads the same kid who was spending a lot of time outside school is now the principal at Achieve School of Education, where he guides so many students to achieve memorable moments in their lives. Can you imagine his students coming back a decade later to see him? What lovely nostalgia for him at that time. So we wish him a lot more such nostalgic moments. So Toastmasters and guests, please put your hands together and help me welcome our president, Toastmaster Balaji.
I think our sergeant's introduction itself felt nostalgic. I definitely did miss the beautiful introduction that you give people, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Thank you so much for that. Before we could start off, we do see some unfamiliar faces, or as we call them, guests. So go ahead, let us know who you are, what you do, and why you are here today. Anyone could feel free.
So, my name is Akash. I just graduated in mechanical engineering this year. So, I mainly got to know about this Toastmasters from my friend Sanketh. He's my school friend. And the reason why I came here is for my friend Hemant. So, he's preparing for his IELTS exam and he's writing it this month on 24th. So, I wanted him to be here so he could get an experience and he could improve on his speaking as well as mine. So, this is the reason why I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's the best hook I've gone to join Toastmasters, clear IELTS exam. I don't know if a month can do that, but definitely you could start off your journey so that you never get surprises like this. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, last summer I have graduated as a mechanical engineer. Next coming year I am planning to study Masters abroad, and this Toastmasters information I got from my friend Sanketh. I don't know much about this. From this session I get to know.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And yes, to our star guest, Sanketh.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanketh and I'm pursuing CA. I just finished my exams and I'm here to improve my communication. So yeah, that's about me.
Fantastic. And yes.
Sir, I believe I had introduced myself last Monday.
Yeah, till you become a part of the club, you still guest for this.
Right, sir. Okay, sir. Good evening, hello. My name is Neeraj and I'm working in Guru Engineer Chartered Accountants. It's a CA firm and I'm a qualified CMA, it's a US CMA. And I've come to this club to improve my communication, and I lag in communication very much, in fact.
Fantastic. And give a bigger round of applause if you think his introduction was so much more better this time. So, given the guests, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And good to know that we have such academic geniuses attending our club meetings. With that, let me also make way for another academic genius, someone who is always the favorite of any teacher. The kind of nostalgia she inducts in the minds of her teachers is just the right one. Oh, this girl, such a nice girl, always quiet and disciplined in class. Kid means it should be like this kid. The one who's been the good kid even at our club because she never wants to experience anything but being a good kid. Let's give it up for our secretary, Toastmaster Sharanye, who is presently doing her Masters in Christ.
Thank you, Toastmaster Balaji. I wish my parents also would tell the same thing to me. A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and their esteemed guests present here. Here goes the minutes of meeting number 1240, which was held on 4th of December 2023. Theme: What you resist persists. Word of the week was acclaim. The business session started off at 6:21 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Balaji. In the business session, the following points were addressed. Vice President Education Toastmaster Ujjwal mentioned that all the roles were open except the MC, and interested members were requested him to contact. Immediate past President Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned that the nomination for Executive Committee for the term Jan to June 2024 was open, and interested members were requested to send a mail for the same. The regular meeting started at 6:21 p.m. Acting Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Pavani started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Balaji. President Toastmaster Balaji opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Jyothi. Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Jyothi spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Apurva, R-Counter Toastmaster Jairam, Grammarian Toastmaster Shreya, and PP Evaluator Toastmaster Chetan. The prepared speech session had the following speeches. Toastmaster Sanketh attempting Level 2 Project 1, which was evaluated by Toastmaster Shiva Prasad. DTM Udanka attempting Level 4 Elective Project 1, which was evaluated by DTM U Bhat. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Latha and had 10 speakers in total. The general evaluation session was conducted by Toastmaster Gaurav. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker DTM Udanka, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, Best Table Topic Speaker DTM K Prabhakara, Best Role Taker TAPG Toastmaster Shreya, Best Role Taker MPG Toastmaster Gaurav. The President closed the meeting at 6:26 p.m., which is followed by National Anthem. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you so much, Sharanye, for that yet clear, concise and candid report that you presented. With that, let's start off this fantastic day with this meeting number 1241. Good evening, nostalgia. If I think about nostalgia, I think everywhere I have a fantastic emotion attached. Every work that I've been a part of, every institution I've been a part of. At school, I started off as this kid who would always be thrown out of the class. During my 4th grade, I was also called the thief of my class. I don't know why they would label me thief, just because I robbed like 6 classworks. It is quite mean to just term someone a thief. But in the same school, I became the vice captain and also the head boy. So all these teachers who had major issues with me definitely came up to me and said, Balaji, you have changed so much. With the same thought process, I went into my next destination, that was Jain College, JC Road, and it was a very similar story there as well. Of course, I was from a state syllabus school, so I thought the English that they spoke at this college was Shakespearean English, but now I understood that their English is really shaky. I started off there like with all the confidence that I take from my state syllabus background, but didn't work. It landed flat. In fact, I became the Sardarji joke in that particular college as well. But somehow by the end of my 2nd PU, it all went good. Of course, I joined these very, very crazy events like Mad Ads, Mock Rock, where you just have to go crazy on stage. And people say my second name is Crazy, so it didn't really mean it was a difficult thing. And of course, CMS was an all different thing. Because I was called Mr. Crazy in 2nd PU, I tried to be crazy even in a B school. And here, while they talk about entrepreneurship, they talk about best manager as an event, what they didn't tell me is I needed content for these rounds. What really worked in my previous college, especially when I used to go for these funny events, is to call out names. You are stupid. You are very, very stupid. You are extremely stupid. I'm using the word stupid only because I can't go beyond that word in this particular club or any stage for that matter. Now I entered my best manager stress interview rounds. Someone told, be a man. And at this point in time, being a man who was a part of the toxic manlyhood of being the first month of college itself, I went head on with the fest team. I yelled at them, I fought them, and I even asked them, do you know who I am? The best part is they defined who I was going to be for the next 3 years in the college. So that entire 1 year, they didn't even allow me to attend a single fest, they didn't allow me to attend any small event. So a man who thrived on attendance that came from festing. Second PU 4% attendance, and the remaining 60% was made up only by attending fest, and of course you will always find me in staff rooms, right? Now not attending fest was quite crazy. After all this drama that I was a part of for 1.5 years, I literally had to sneak into a fest for a competition called Personality. For the ones who attend cultural fest, it was like a big thing for cultural fest, like your best manager for commerce fest. I realized best manager was not my cup of tea, because back in the day, never watched news, never read the newspaper, content was never my thing. Though adults told do it, when the adults tell do it, we just don't do it. So from there, somehow I had to register myself under a different name and under the banner name of a different college. So I literally told I'm from a different college and a different name, and I went on stage and I defeated my own college's contestant on stage. And that was the day finally I was allowed to take part in fest. And of course I had the joy of humiliating that one main head who threw me out of the fest team. On the day where last year was happening, we were on the third year, and Soha Ali Khan had come. Of course, Soha Ali Khan is not a very big celebrity as of now, but back in the day also she was not a very big celebrity. But in college, everybody is a big celebrity, right? Soha Ali Khan is coming. Some people don't even know who Soha Ali Khan is. Yeah. So of course I was the MC, and as an MC, I mean, I'm not a very regular MC. I started making fun of dancers, and of course I used this golden opportunity of passing on my love to Soha Ali Khan. One of the lines was, Soha, I think your parents knew what you were going to become in future. Soha, because of, and that's why they named you Soha. Now this is how I grabbed the attention of Soha Ali Khan, and then finally when the awards had to be given, she called who on stage? She called me on stage, because she's like, I can't dance with all these dancers, but there is this one useless guy, call him on stage. So I went on stage, I danced, again, not a very, very big celebrity, but you know, when something like this happens in a college fest, how cool the kid is going to become, right? And on the day of my graduation speech, all these, my senior members of the forum who were present in the audience, on that day as guests, I had the opportunity of humiliating them in the open. And I told my story of how some of them believed that I couldn't achieve much in the first year, but now I have literally won the maximum number of trophies. And that brings me joy even till today. So when I look back, what really makes a memory very good is the journey where you go down. Because when you go down, there's nothing but just coming back up. So I don't know which part of the journey that you are in. You might be going down or you might be coming up. Of course, I'm in a part of journey where I don't know if it's down or up. So what really makes your life memorable is when you follow the nice and neat economic cycle that is also for life. Everything that goes up has to come down. Everything that goes down has to come back on top. I have reached a point where whenever I had a very, very difficult, sad day, I'm excited in return. I'm like, oh wow, that means tomorrow is going to be fantastic. What you believe in works for you, right? So let us keep weaving some great stories. Some days you're down, some days you're back up, but this is what makes your life memorable, and that's what is going to be a good evening's nostalgia that you could even pass on to your friends, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your father, mother, and of course kids. Because what will you entertain them with if not with a good evening's nostalgia? With that, I would love to open this fantastic session number 1241. And to go on and continue today's session, of course, a part of my good evening's nostalgia, I had this student in school who was ultra naughty. I would ask him to write A and he would write Z. I would ask him to give a talk in front of the audience and he would just shiver and go back. But why would I call him a good evening nostalgia? Is because the journey that he's taken to work on himself. The fun him was always the same. The person he is was always the same, but the amount of confidence that he's put on has made him a fantastic Toastmaster as of today. He's also a graduate, which I'm pretty surprised with, but yes, he did fly out of this graduation with flying colors, and he also is a Triple Crown Award winner. So with this much of an introduction, a great part of my evening's nostalgia, let's give a nice round of applause for our TMOD, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Sanketh Balaji.
It's always amazing to be a bad man situation like this, being the spotlight. Yeah. First of all, for all the Toastmasters and our lovely guests, good evening. Nostalgia, guys. Today's theme. So when I thought like I'll just take up this theme for this meeting is because number one, our year is going to come to an end, and what is better than just remembering the whole year's recap? And I feel even that is also a nostalgia in my eyes. With that, I chose this as a topic, and I have another reason why. I'll tell you later terms. Today I have two stories for you. Two stories. First is this. Long time ago, in a faraway land, in Santa Ana, California, in 1905, 24th March, an organization was started by a visionary. His name was Ralph C. Smith, and the organization started was Toastmasters. Yeah, I try to do that now, the Anantnag's KGF style narration, but I can't. I'm really bad at it, I know. So that was the first story which I really wanted to narrate. Now, for the second story, I want every one of you to close your eyes and try to imagine yourself there. Could I ask everyone to close your eyes for a minute? Cool. Imagine yourself in a classroom, in your favorite classroom, maths class. And you doze off. And there comes aliens rocketing down, destroying your school, demolishing it. And you, be that Superman, raises up and said, I can take care of this. And I will shoot on all the aliens, capture them, also demolish the school a little more because I don't want to go to school next year. So demolish it and walk out with the heroic style, heroic walk, the BGM playing like yeah, that's the thing. And you wake up to reality saying that none of this is going to happen and the next period is games. Suddenly, there is another twist in a story. There comes the PT teacher saying that, sir, it's time for the kids for the games period. And the maths sir be like, oh, is it? But still we have one more theorem to finish. So we'll just finish it and I'll send it. And that theorem, my friends, it's not going to end. Even though it could take tens of PT periods and games periods, it's not gonna end. So, for everyone who felt having games period after maths class, for everyone who dreamt of demolishing their schools, this is me, your host Sanketh Balaji. Good evening, everyone. Not good evening, nostalgia. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right. So in today's right down to memory line, we have few things to be noted down, right? And for that, I have one person being the class teacher for the meeting, also known as the general evaluator. And that general evaluator she says that Bashveshwar Nagar means nostalgia for her. She says that, her face lights up whenever she thinks about all those golden good old days of her childhood spent with. The most memorable and nostalgic memory of hers was her being a kid. So without making any further delay, can I call upon DTM's Sushma onto the stage? With a huge round of applause, guys. Come on.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanketh, for the wonderful introduction. As the general evaluator of the meeting, my role is to evaluate the meeting right from the beginning to the end. What all takes place, what goes on well, what could be improved, and so on. So now, to assist me in this evaluation as a general evaluator, I am not alone. I have a team who is going to assist me. So let me introduce my team to you all. As I call out the names and your role, please introduce your role to the entire audience. So firstly, I have the timer, Toastmaster Mehjabin. Can you please introduce yourself and your role?
Thank you so much, Evaluator. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. But here in Toastmaster, we have to record and document everything. As a timer, I have to record each and every time in Toastmasters. So here it is as follows. For speaker 1, as he is attending level 1 project 1. So for him it is time allotted as 5 minutes to 6 minutes. So for 5 minutes I will be showing the green card. For 6 minutes, for 5 minutes 30 seconds I will be showing the yellow card. For 6 minutes I will be showing the red card. And for speaker 2, 5 to 7 minutes. For 5 minutes I will be showing the green card. For 5 minutes 6 minutes I will be showing the yellow card. For 7 minutes I will be showing the red card. And for speaker 3, I will be for 5 minutes 7 seconds. In 5 minutes I will be showing the green card. For 6 minutes I will be showing the yellow card. And for 7 minutes I will be showing the red card. And for individual evaluator, each time allotted 2 to 3 minutes. That's it, and back to you. Yeah, table topic speaker is 1 to 2 minutes. For 1 minute I will be showing the green card. For 1 to 30 seconds I will be showing the yellow card. And for 2 minutes I will be showing the red card. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehjabin. Next, as the accountant, I have Toastmaster Gaurav who will be helping me with the role. Please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. So, as the accountant for the day, I'll be noting down all the filler words such as right. When you're recollecting your thoughts, that's generally people use the filler words. So, I'll be even noting down the crutch words such as so, all other crutch words, and I'll be giving the report at the end, time and back.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. As the TP evaluator, I have Toastmaster Sai Snehal ready who will be helping me.
Good evening, members and guests. Nostalgia is a nice memory if you have good memories associated with it. not to have a bad memory by talking about sex, religion, or politics, or using your phone or making it ring or walking in and out when there's no applause, will definitely be marked down by the PP evaluator and will leave a bad memory. So avoid doing all of these and you'll be in my good books. Back to Chetan.
As the grammarian, I have DTM A K Prabhakara sir to help me out.
As a grammarian, I'll note down the good usages and not so good usages where whoever is going to speak, and of course whoever uses the word of the day name will be mentioned here. I'll keep track all these things, and at the end of it, I'll be reporting during general evaluation session.
Thank you, DTM AKP sir. Now I will not be taking much of your time, so I will be coming back towards the end of the meeting with a very detailed report. So back to the MC.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Now, when we write down the memory lane, I believe there are 3 pit stops for this meeting as well. Consider this meeting as a time machine, alright? And once when I knock twice, we stop in every pit stop. Deal? Now, for the first pit stop, and we have, as I told you, 3 pit stops. First being the prepared speeches, second being the table topic session, and third being the evaluator session. Okay? Now, let's start off our engine of our time machine and let's start moving to the past. First pit stop, prepared speeches. Now, before me calling up onto the first speaker onto the stage, I just want to call up that person's evaluator. So, can I please have Toastmaster Latha N on the stage, please?
The purpose statement of this prepared speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Now, notes for the evaluator, that's me. This member is completing his or her first speech in Toastmasters. The goal of the evaluation is to give the member an effective evaluation of his or her speech and delivery style. Because the icebreaker is the first project a member completes, you may choose to use only the note section and not the numerical score. Thank you and all the best.
Now, coming to this speaker, he says that his favorite fond memory growing up is going into his system, his computer, and start gaming, like most of us. And also his favorite picks are GTA Vice City, Pokemon games, Captain Claw, and Road Rash. Road Rash. And let's hope that he don't be any rash, and let me call upon our first speaker for the day, Chetan Vashist, Toastmaster Chetan Vashist, with his speech title 0 to 29 and a half. 0 to 29 and a half, Chetan Vashist. Please be on. Please bring him on the stage. Bring up class.
My story begins on 2nd June 1994 as my cries woke up the entire hospital. Now, 29 and a half years later, my work as a software engineer makes children cry all the time when they attempt their assignments on our platform quizzes. Good evening, Toastmasters, and my dear guests. Welcome to my icebreaker. I'm Chetan Vashish. My mother, Purna Giridhar, is a former national level table tennis player. My dad, Giridhar Gururajan, is a journalist. And my younger brother, Rohan, he's a doctor. My parents had a tough time raising me. I used to get sick a lot, so they used to take me to the doctor's office. And I naturally developed a distaste for clinics, pharmacies, medicine, everything that follows. As a 5-year-old, my tantrums continued. I refused to climb on scooters, I refused to go up the staircase, down the staircase, etc. All of this was fixed when my brother started doing these trivial tasks. Growing up, the two of us were always given a single device to share, like a desktop computer, HCL in stock. We were given a single Game Boy Advance. We were given a single iPod Shuffle to listen to music. The two of us used to play games like Prince of Persia, GTA Vice City, Road Rash, Pokemon games, all of this stuff. And we learned to share while doing this. I would generally play navigation and he would take the role of combat. I spent a large part of my childhood in my grandfather's house here in Jayanagar. He, Ramurthy Rao, is an imaginative and practical engineer. We built a lot of school projects together. Let me describe a few of them. One of them was a national park booklet, another one was a water cycle report, and another one was a solar system model. Let me describe a artesian well that we built together. It consists of a thermocol landmass to which we connected a squeezy water bottle. When you press the bottle, you got a geyser-like effect coming out of the landmass. So it was experiments like these and projects like this that pushed me into the direction of science. Much like Madam Lakshmi mentioned here, I studied in Comerans for 12 years, but I struggled for 10 of those. I seldom scored over 60 in languages or social studies, but miraculously in 11th standard, they just got rid of all the vernaculars, and I started doing well because I could study for 4 hours a day after coming back home. And that hard work paid off, and I found myself at NITK Surathkal 2 years later in 2012. Now, I thought college was going to be this perfect vacation at the beach, that Surathkal. But let me describe the first day's events for you as to what happened there. So, I go to college on Sunday night. I set up the whole room. I got into bed and slept off. Next day morning, I got up Monday morning, went outside my room, and I saw a huge queue, 100 plus people standing there, and all filling water from one tap. It's like, what is this? What are you doing? I asked one of them. And they told me that there was no water in the toilets. So that is how I understood. That was the first time I had to make a decision for myself on skipping bath in the morning. College gives you these privileges. The first time effort. You learn these things only when you're out of your comfort zone. And I also learned other lessons like the importance of my mother's cooking and even hot water in toilets. Now after college, I picked up two new hobbies that became habits. The first one was reading like my father and fitness like my mother. Books have taken me into various places like on the stage, through space and time, and into the lives of famous personalities. Now I do swimming, running, and yoga to stay fit. 2 years ago, I met a beautiful girl, Divya Rao. If you ask her, she'll tell you that ours is a love marriage. But the truth is, we were set up, and it happened during the COVID lockdown. So I'll tell you our first date. It was around the park in Jayanagar, and then we went to Namdari's to do grocery shopping. That was our first date. So 1.5 months of cloud nine, and then Divya's parents asked me if I was ready, and I agreed to the proposal. So now, as a married person, I can tell you that I am more knowledgeable about mood swings, more confident in dealing with maids, and I have understood the value of good relationships with your in-laws. Now, my grandfather always told me that I swallow my words when I speak. And 4 months ago, when I was asked to give a speech at my work, I did, but I fumbled it, and I really fumbled it. So now, I'm taking corrective action, and I'm here as the first steps. So thank you Toastmasters for listening to my journey of nostalgia and yeah, for your support on this journey. Over to you.
Alright. To be honest, even I come from a joint family and I have a lot of cousins running here in my house and I know the pain of sharing a Game Boy because I used to own one and I had to own one. I used to own one. Understand? I used to own one. So, now moving on to the next speaker. Before me calling off the next speaker on stage, I just want to call the evaluator on stage. Can I have Toastmaster Jyothi on stage?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The purpose statement of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during the club meeting. The purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Notes for the evaluator: if you know you will be the evaluator ahead of the meeting, communicate with the speaker to learn about them and their goals for their first evaluation and feedback project speech. Be sure to set aside enough time in your schedule to meet with the speaker after their speech to review the evaluation and answer any question they may have. The member has spent time writing a speech to present at a club meeting. About this speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic. Focus on the member's speaking style. Be sure to recommend improvements that the member can apply to the next speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The member will ask you to evaluate the second speech at a future meeting. Thank you, and over to the MC of the day.
Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Okay, I'm not able to sing that. Don't do that. But this song is one of a trigger for the upcoming speaker, the nostalgic trigger. Our fond memory is going down to other communities and seeing different Christmas decorations lit up. And I just want her to speak more on the stage and less on me now. So let me call upon our next speaker, Toastmaster Shreya, and with her speech title being Best of Both Worlds. Best of Both Worlds, Toastmaster Shreya.
Which do you like better, Shreya? India or the US? This is a question that has been haunting me for most of my life, and here's why. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Here's something that you probably don't know about me because I've never told you. I used to live abroad when I was younger, specifically in the US. So I lived there for 9 years, and this is my 10th year living in Bangalore. So my life has been well split between two countries, and I'm very grateful for that. It was a very hard transition, moving to India when I was 9 years old. And since moving here, the question I've been most asked is, which do you like better, India or the US? And as a 9-year-old, that's a very nerve-wracking question to answer because on one hand, I had only been living here for 1 month. And on the other hand, I had friends and teachers and random relative aunties who I had never seen before breathing down my neck waiting for me to say India. But I was a smart kid and I said that I liked both. And that holds true today as well because I started growing up in one country and I finished growing up in the other, and that means a lot to me. That being said, moving to India was a very difficult change for me to process. I used to come here for vacation every year to meet my grandparents, but going to school here and living here was a whole nother ballgame. When I used to come here for vacations, I used to experience many cultural shocks. But actually living here, it is insane how many culture shocks I faced, especially in school. For example, uniforms. PT period only twice a week, no recess after lunch, ridiculous. And the most shocking part for me, I think, was the workload. I mean, as much of a workload you can have at 9 years old. But schooling, especially in elementary, is very hands-on and experimental, and we don't write much. And here we write from morning till afternoon, and it was so exhausting for me that I actually fainted in the first week of school in front of the whole class. But I will take some blame for that because I was a very stupid kid. I was sitting at my table and I started feeling dizzy. So I thought it would be a good idea to stand up and then start walking to my teacher and tell her that I was feeling dizzy. On the way, I passed the chalkboard. There was a duster holder, a metal duster holder jutting out of the wall. And that was the moment I chose to faint. I fainted on it. I cut my lip in front of the whole class. The teacher came running, she picked me up. And let's just say that that's a story that my friends will never let me forget. Speaking about bad luck, you know how they say that the US is a horrible place for people with peanut allergies? India is a horrible place for people with cashew allergies. Me. I can't eat sweets. I've never eaten kaju barfi. I can't eat North Indian food because they grind cashew paste and they put it in their sabzis and masalas and everything. I can't eat curd rice peacefully at hotels because they chop up cashews, so I have to pick them out when I'm eating. And very recently, actually, I went to eat Balaji at a new place. The guy cut up cashews and put it in the bhaji. I was very disappointed, not to say the least. Something else that was different was milk. So in the US, we get milk in bottles and cartons, and we keep them in the fridge for like a week. But here we buy milk packets every day. That was also different. Something that was different as well was the lack of libraries in the city. So I grew up reading, I loved reading. I used to borrow 10 books at a time from my local library. But coming here and not seeing any libraries anywhere, that was also very sad for me. You know, speaking about Bangalore, how can I not talk about Bangalore weather? You know, it was difficult to get acclimated to the climate change here since the seasons are different. We have summer in common, but you know, I guess winter also is there, but Bangalore winter is like summer again, right? So that doesn't count. I like the monsoon because I like rain, but mosquitoes, man. How many mosquitoes are there in Bangalore? And it's even worse in Udupi. 10 years of living here and I got dengue last month, and that was a horrible experience, and now I have a lot of vengeance against mosquitoes. And let's just say I've become an expert in wielding a mosquito bat. I'm very good at it. Speaking about Bangalore again, another thing is Bangalore traffic. Bangalore traffic is such a beautiful experience now. You have scooters touring through every small crevice they get. Sometimes they go on the sidewalk also. People have to be careful walking on the sidewalk. You see BMTC buses trying to run someone over, and then you can be inside the BMTC bus while they are trying to run someone over, and it's a whole other experience. Very beautiful experience it is. Another thing is the sounds of Bangalore traffic. You know, people honking, horning, people yelling at each other, yelling especially at auto drivers who drive like they're meant to, right? Like they don't drive properly. Everyone's always screaming. But I think the most beautiful thing about Bangalore traffic are the roads. You know, in US we have such boring, plain roads. You know, very straight, very calm roads. In India you have masala roads. You have potholes. You have humps. You have dogs. You have cows on the road. Where else will you see? Will you see cows on the road in US? No. It makes for a very interesting driving experience. But one of the best, culture shocks was not having to wear your seatbelt in the backseat of the car. So I felt like a very cool kid when I realized, I don't have to wear backseat. There's a seatbelt in the back. Living the thug life, bro. And that was the moment when I realized that India is the country for me to live in. I don't have to wear seatbelt. This is my country. But all that aside, I quickly fell in love with growing up in India. It is a privilege to be connected to your family, to your culture and your heritage. I feel very blessed compared to my Indian friends who still live in the US, because some of them don't even know their mother tongue yet. And so when they come back to India and interact with their family, there's such a language barrier. So I feel very thankful that I don't have that. So it was definitely a very beautiful experience growing up in both countries, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But if to today if you asked me, Shreya, you're an adult now. Where do you want to settle? India or US? Good question. Thank you.
Well, she did say, our roads are masala roads. But being a proud Bangalorean, I'd say it's a roller coaster road. Look at it in this point of view. Now, moving on to the next speaker's evaluator, can I have Toastmaster Sharanye onto the stage first?
A very good evening, everyone. So here goes the purpose statement. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during club meeting. The purpose of this speech is for the members to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Notes for the evaluator, that is me, has been read by me, and it is same as the last speech. So to save the time, I'll be skipping this part, and I'll be giving my evaluation during the general evaluation session. Thank you, and back to you, and all the best to the speaker.
Now, this speaker's fond memory is, filling water bottles in summer, running down, playing lagori and cricket and catch until their parents hunt us down and play catch with them. So, with that, can I have Toastmaster Anusha onto the stage with the speech title Change. Anusha? Yeah.
Life has bestowed its lessons as change to all of us at least once in our lifetime. How many of you have been pushed out of your safe cocoon and put out to see the harsh realities of life, upgrade yourself, work harder, come out? Good evening, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. I'm Anusha Naik with the speech title Change. Change, transformation, adaptation. It's a very fundamental concept that makes someone or something better and the best version of themselves. We see change around us every day. It can span in a day, or it can happen in weeks, years, or even decades. Look at dinosaurs. They existed billions of years ago and they dominated the earth. But we all know what happened to them. An asteroid hit and they vanished from the face of earth. But along with these dinosaurs, the animals that we see today, like crocodiles, few amphibians and insects, also lived with them. But they didn't vanish. What was it that these animals like crocodiles, amphibians, insects had, but the dinosaurs didn't? It was their ability to change and adapt to the environment around them and to change according to the situations around. Change is not only seen in us humans. It need not be animals or any living beings. Look at technology and see the rapid pace at which it's growing. One of the most remarkable technological advancement in recent times is ChatGPT. It has revolutionized the way humans interact with a machine, a device, an algorithm. It's like you're speaking to another person itself. You go ask it any question and it'll reply to you as if you're speaking to a person, how you would have any conversation with a normal person. And it just has answers to everything. Another change we can look at is you all remember landlines, right? Landlines, that was something so abundantly and exclusively used in 2013, let's say. That's just 10 years from today. Every house had a landline, every house. And it was so extensively used that although smartphones did exist, they were dominant. Now, today, 2023, what is it? It's as if landlines never existed. It's very rare and you barely see it. And it's not that phones did not exist back then. But what was it? What made this change in such a short span of 10 years? I'd like to say it is. I'd like to think as smartphones got smarter, they adapted, they evolved, they changed. And telephones were just this old box in a machine box with a bunch of numbers in it, and we just press dial, and the only functionality it has is to talk to someone. And landlines did change to some extent. They went from wired to wireless, but it was not sufficient. While on the other hand, these smartphones went beyond a common man's expectation of what a palm-sized device can do. So how does one become the fittest? Or how does one know how much change is sufficient? So the answer to all of this lies in the continuous pursuit of growth, adaptation, the willingness to change and learn continuously in the situations we are put through. Life throws many problems at us, and we face these problems every day. And what one as a smart person would do is to grab onto these problems as opportunities and evolve with it. And I feel all of us are continuously adapting. Like, just look at your work life. Today you'll come up with such one situation, you solve these problems in a certain way, but tomorrow may not be the same. You have to continuously keep changing, learning, doing things in a different way. Otherwise, someone else who is more smarter or who has more evolved to these changes will take over you. So it's always a continuous battle of survival. Upgrade yourself, keep working, and keep going for it. Why do we wait for New Year's to make resolutions? Why is it that we wait for a particular day to make a change? Why not make it today? It's not that New Year resolutions have something special about it. It does not make your changes or your goals last longer, does it? I doubt that. So why not get a gym membership today? Why not go running today? Why not start exercising today? Why not just stop procrastination, wake up early and don't waste your time, work on yourself, just start it today. Be protean and continue with the changes. So redefine yourself every day, be consistent, be persistent, dance with uncertainties and embrace change. And I'd like to leave you all with one thought which I absolutely love and resonate with. The magic you're looking for is in the change that you're avoiding. The magic you're looking for is in the change you're avoiding. So go look for that change and let life do the magic on you. Thank you.
Well, I can't talk about others, but for me, not going to gym is I'm lazy. Well, moving on, we have coming to the next pit stop, table topic session. Now, this person we have here is, was working in a studying student from USA back then. He used to work in this good barista, and I hope he got all the orders and the names of people who ordered right. Hoping that I could hear more of him on stage. So can we have Toastmaster Raja Prasad on stage?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Yeah, as a student when I was in the US, I did a lot of different kind of jobs. Normally, I would not have done that. I would have been in India. It was an interesting experience. I shared that as a nostalgic experience with him. All right, let's get into the second section. Let me see a rise of hands. How many of you have heard the story of Fox and the Sour Grapes? Okay, you haven't heard that story? The fox and the sour grapes. The fox says, tries for a grapes and then says it's sour and then leaves. Almost everybody have heard about that, right? Okay, second story. How many of you have heard about the tortoise and the rabbit story?
Yes.
Everyone, right? Okay. Now question to all of you. many years old are these stories? Anybody, is it like 100 years old? Is it like 200 years old? How many years old are these stories?
As old as I am.
So it's 80, 83.
25?
600 years.
Huh?
600 years.
600 years, okay, one answer. Anybody wants to take it?
We can't give a number to this story because these are imaginative stories. We keep hearing it from them, so we can't tell how old in numbers.
Anybody wants to? I'll take 2 more guesses if
Maybe
anybody wants.
4,000, 3,000, 4,000 years.
As old as Panchayat.
How old is like Panchatantra? I don't know. Okay, so these stories are 2,500 years old. And these are said by a person called Aesop in Greek. And he was a slave first, and because of his storytelling skills, he was given a good position. And now it is being told as Aesop fables. So fables are something where you use birds and animals to tell a story. And these are 2,500 years old. It's amazing, right? 2,500 years, these stories has passed along, and even now it is so relevant. So storytelling has that power. If I ask you the story of Titanic, which came like 25 years back, everybody can say that, right? We'll tell the story of the Titanic. But if I ask you the chapters of the book you read last month, you forget. Because stories stick, all these things, we just forget that. So today, the concept of table topic is going to be storytelling and around storytelling. So as a table topic master, I will be giving a topic and you need to come here and speak for like 1 to 2 minutes. Alright? Everybody is excited?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Let's start with something light. Tell me about a movie that you liked. Okay, not because of hero, not because of heroine or something, because of the story. Yeah? And what was so special about that story? Okay? And this goes to Toastmaster Mehjabin. Can be any language.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. First of all, I don't like to watch movies, so I don't know much of the stories in that they portray in movies. Last and first movie I saw KGF in theater. So that part was, that story was just amazing, and definitely I'm waiting for the KGF 2 to be released, so that I could know what is exactly what happened. I don't remember exactly what happened KGF 1 also. So the story of KGF I really liked, and don't remember now.
So every story will have a framework, has a framework, yeah. Every story has a hero, villain, a context, yeah, and a climax. So the next topic is, tell us about the importance of villain in a story. Tell us about the importance of villain in the story. This goes to Toastmaster Gaurav.
Very good evening to all Toastmasters and to all the guests present here. So, when I was a kid, many used to ask me like, if you want to be a villain or a hero in the movie, I used to always say villain because I don't know, when I was to watch a movie, I used to watch the movie based on who's the villain, not because of the hero. So how many of you watched Animal recently? I went with you too, you don't have to raise your hands. So in this movie, Ranbir Kapoor, I didn't like him that much, to be frank. And that Bobby Deol, the villain, who just appeared for like 30 minutes in the movie, that took the entire movie apart. I enjoyed that character more than the actual hero. And the best part of being a villain is it defines what a hero is also. Like if the villain is strong, it defines how strong the hero is. If the villain is weak, then hero is no point of being in the movie. And my favorite hero of all time is the Joker. The Heath Ledger who did it in the Batman or whatever. That was the first time I saw Batman. I was not a fan of a DC movie before, but after watching that movie, I became a fan of DC movies as well. And even when it comes to Avengers, if Thanos was not as strong as he was, then there was no point of having Avengers team. So, yeah, villain plays a very important role because that shows how strong the hero is as well. Because without the villain, there is no story also. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. So we need to think about the hero and the villain, right? It is not about just a person. Even in a business context, when you say a villain, it is a problem that the company is facing. And the hero is the solution. When you go and talk about the solution without explaining the problem, right, your solution will be of less value. If you just escalate the problem and everybody is keen on listening like what you are going to say, then you give the solution, then that has a higher impact. Okay, having said that, let's get into the next topic. This is a quote. Okay, and I want you to come here and talk about this quote. Great stories happen to those who can tell them. Great stories happen to those who can tell them. And this goes to Toastmasters Sai Snehal.
Table Topics Master, Toastmasters and guests. I was exactly 21 years old when I was going with my friend on a bike and I was pillion. I was sitting right behind him. We went to a dhaba, we had really nice lunch and we thought we'd just head back home. But then we just looked at our watch and we realized that we had a couple of hours with us. So we thought, why don't we just head to Kanakpura Road for a short little ride. We started riding towards Kanakpura Road and we thought Kanakpura Road is boring, why don't we just deviate a little bit and go inside those curvy roads. Well said and done. We took the first road that we saw after Nice Road and we started riding towards the inside of it. It was close to 5 p.m. in the evening and it started getting dark. And we reached the dead end of the road. There was actually a barricade which said entry restricted. We didn't know where we were, but it kind of looked very scary and we started heading back. When we were heading back, it started getting a little dark. There were no street lights, there was no sign of human, nothing. We started riding back and all of a sudden, there was a turn which he couldn't see and we both fell. He fell on the side of the road where there was grass and I actually, slide past the road. That time it made me realize that even if I wanted to tell this story to somebody, I was very bad at it. It took me so many years to process that story and this today is my best version of telling that story so far. I've told it to so many people so many years, but nobody would ever understand what I was trying to tell because I couldn't have processed it. You make good stories only if you have lived them, processed them, and experienced them. That's when a real good story comes out in the end. What do you think?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal. Alright, the next one. This is a quote as well. To be a great storyteller, first you need to be a great collector of stories. To be a great storyteller, first you need to be a great collector of stories. So this goes to Toastmaster Vijay Upendra.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, Toastmasters, welcome guests. Unless we collect stories, how will we understand our own self? In any story, there is a hero, there is a heroine, and a villain also. Unless we know each character properly, what is really happening inside, which character that we are really liking, what is our personality, is it in synchronization with the character or is it against that particular character? That really determines what we are inside. unless we know what's happening in the external world, we may not be gelling with the external world too. Unless we get in synchronization with the external world, we cannot survive. For that, we need to know other stories as well as what is there inside our own story and the synchronization that is required so that we can have the balanced part of it. That's what more important rather than just collecting the stories. As we go to movies, paying hard-earned money, seeing only the KGF part, hero becomes almost like a villain. He hits and he murders. What is the story that we are collecting from those type of movies? Unlike yesteryear movies or stories that we witnessed, where we had some social message that's been coming from each movie or a character, that is very important. So, to develop insight, we need our own stories as well as the external world stories, so that there is a synchronization, so that we achieve our goals. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. Okay, so the next one, if you have to write a story about you, let's say 10 years from now, okay, you're writing it, yeah, 10 years from now, this is my story. What would that story be? And this goes to Toastmaster Jyothi.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. If I were to write a story, I definitely would write story on how beautiful and how wonderful it is to fail. And every time we fail, there is no need that we need to pass after it. We can fail again. Because many a times we say failures are the pillars of success. So how is it that only if a person succeeds, what is the definition of success? For a person, I've heard the story I would want to say is like a person who keeps on saying that I have failed. Have they ever realized that so much of failures in one person's life may be a success for another person? So for a light to for a candle to give light, it is so important for the candle to burn and become small and melt away. And so is a person who fails. The person who fails is the candle who gives lights to so many others, burns and melts away. And that the story in 10 years ahead would be how I failed so many times and so many times, not knowing that I have, like my name, have been giving light to so many people, and I have been melting away and giving glories to others. So I'm sure that story, when people will read, will realize that a person is not understood, need not be taken up only with the success and with the achievements they have made for themselves. It could be what they have lost by gaining for others. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi. Till I was like 34, 35 years old, right? I thought there is only one type of story, which is the external story. Then later I realized there is also something called as the internal story. What is internal story? External stories are something you tell others. Internal stories are something we tell ourselves. Yeah. Now we celebrate heroes. Why do we celebrate heroes? Like there's a lot of people celebrate heroes, right? We celebrate heroes because of the stories we hear and see about them, right? So my question to all of you is, are you telling enough stories about you to celebrate yourself? Right? This goes to Toastmaster Sindhushree. Yeah, we are celebrating heroes because of the stories we see and hear about that, right? So are we telling enough stories to celebrate ourselves?
Thank you so much, Raja, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. We are in the era of personal branding, content creation, where every single tool or a channel that you speak about or know about, you read about, they promote personal branding. So the topic that Raja gave me is very similar to that. For example, I tell this to all my friends very often. Speak about your glory, speak about what you're doing, shout it as much as you can, put it on your LinkedIn, put it on your website if possible, or go tell your fellow colleagues and everything. We as humans don't often tell the stories or the life that we have lived or we have experienced. Okay, I achieved a particular thing, I achieved a milestone, or I achieved something. It could be very minute as possible, it could be very, very less with us, but you never know. Few days ago, I was cleaning my cupboard and I found a stack of books, 4 to 5 books. And I opened them and I was like, oh my god, I actually read a lot of things about product management, marketing. But to this day, I don't remember what exactly is the knowledge that I carried. Somewhere along the way, I forgot that I did 10 certification courses, or somewhere along the way, I forgot that I sat through the night, by hearted things, experimented a lot, went through 2 internships together. I don't remember any of those things today. But when I opened the cupboard, bought the book outside, and I saw all my notes, I realized, wow, I actually put in efforts to know all this. And today, I don't remember it. Maybe, I know as you complete a milestone in your life, when you complete a particular achievement or a goal that you set out to be, it is so important for you to speak them out. Because even for yourself, you forget it. How do you expect the people around for you to know? The moment you tell them out, they recognize you. I know today that Gaurav hates the pink milkshake. I know today that Mehjabin doesn't remember KGF. I know today that Sharanye is the most diligent girl who sends the MOM at 5 a.m. in the morning. So it becomes very important for us to speak what we do every day, so that people who are around us remember us by the stories that we tell. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sindhushree. Alright, next one. Why do most stories start with once upon a time? Why do most stories start with once upon a time? And this goes to Toastmaster BTM U Bhat.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Our Table Topic Master told about how the stories evolved from as old as 2,500 years ago. I think I should beg to differ from you. I think it has got a much longer history than that, because I feel even the Aesop's stories, I feel, is evolved from Panchatantra. If you go there, and Panchatantra has got a much bigger history than probably Aesop's tales, if I remember right. But all these stories, ultimately, whether it's Panchatantra or Aesop's or whichever story you said, as you rightly said, the first, once upon a time. Why do you say once upon a time? Because that is the way the story gets evolved. It gets the view, the audience, the person who listens to the story, it puts him in the perspective and it puts him right way of mind. Okay, he is prepared to listen to something that has happened at some point of time. So that once upon a time gives context to the story which is going to narrate, and that creates interest that something he's trying to say something. Let me listen to it there. So that is how that word probably has. This is what my impression is as far as the once upon a time is concerned. But it's a truism, it's a fact that yes, most of the stories start with that once upon a time, whether it is Aesop's or Panchatantra or whatever it is. And I think that was the right thing. The authors have developed that catchword to start a story, to get the attention of all the readers of the stories to come and listen to that speech, so that the story, so that they know what exactly he wants to convey. That's what my take on that is. Back to you.
If I say Ram lived in a village and start the story like that, instead of that, once upon a time there was a village in which there was a farmer named Ram. There's definitely a difference to that. So how can you incorporate that in today's storytelling is if you give a time, a specific time, and you started your story with that in 1950s, in 1970s, 3 years back, 2 years back. Alright, so let's get into the next question, next table topic. Tell us about someone dead or alive whose life story inspired you, and this goes to Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and the esteemed guests. Life or death of a person which inspired me, right?
No. Tell us about someone who's alive or dead whose life story inspired you.
Okay. I would like to talk about in this situation about my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. Now, my paternal grandmother had a very small family of 7 sons and 2 daughters. So, a small family, need to raise, not that financially good also. Now, she was a very strong, willpowered lady. And my mother always tells me, I am a replica of her. I don't know why she tells that. I do not believe that I am that level yet. But she tells me, you are a carbon copy of her now. So when I look at her, I hear stories about her when she was alive. She was the kind of woman who never gave up. When I talk about some 20-30 years back, you have 7 sons to manage, 2 daughters to manage, and you come from a family where women were not allowed to get educated, not to work, but with whatever small means you have, you need to take care of the whole house. Now, how did that woman do that well? She educated her sons, she educated her daughters, she raised her family well, she maintained her health well, and she maintained a very good name in the society. For us, coming from a family background, maintaining your name in the society also matters a lot to us. So how did that lady do that when she was alive? And after her death also, people know her by her name, us by her name. So this is the one person who, being alive and after her death, also is in our mind and in our souls. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latha, for sharing the inspiring story. Alright, the next one is, you can be a great storyteller. The delivery of a story is important. How you deliver the story, right? Especially if you are in different context, that will be different. So this is the last one. Is this one, right? Yeah. Okay, so delivery of the story is very important, and Toastmasters will help you deliver it in a much better way. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of great stories, heard a lot of great stories from here, and where people have really improved their storytelling. And I want to call DTM AKP to talk about this one. Delivery of a story is very important, and Toastmasters will help you deliver it in a much better way.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The principle behind storytelling, is that what you're expecting me? I'm not sure, but I'll try to do within limited time that we have. Is that, you remember, it's an acronym I have created for myself, is that a story should have 3 C's and a pass. It's an acronym. 3 C's consists of a conflict, climax, and plot, action, setting. There is one more C I'm still not able to recollect. And the whole thing has to be sequenced right. And it can start from once upon a time, this kind of thing. So the whole point is where you start, how do you build plot, action, setting, conflict, climax, and characters. The other one that I missed is characters. So you have to have this in the right combination to deliver the speech in an impactful way. It was December, maybe second week, Kharagpur railway station. I had no ticket, but I somehow bought a second class ticket and entered a train in first AC and kept my briefcase on top. The station ticket collector came, asked for my ticket. He saw that I didn't have the right ticket, and I was confident that paying the required balance money he would allow me to continue the journey towards Calcutta. But he didn't. He said, I have to get down. I was just shivering cold. I requested him, all I have to do is couple of more station. He said, no, you have to get down. I immediately pulled out the briefcase and came down. Waited for the next local train, reached Calcutta, reached home somewhere around 6 o'clock. A phone came from my boss. He said, Prabhakar, are you home already? Yes, there's a landline, there's no mobile. He said, yes. Have you checked your briefcase? I said, no. Please check. I said, it's inside the home, another room, hold it. I opened, it was not mine. I was shocked. And then he said, come to the office, bang on time. I knew there was some serious problem. I went in. Another person from Patna came. He said, have you seen my card there? My boss was also there. Yes, he said. And then, have you seen my briefcase? I said, no. I was anxious. Have you brought mine? He said, yes. Have you seen inside of that? He said, no. I opened it. I saw it was not mine. Thank God, I said. Because it had 25,000 rupees cash in that. Because that was weekend, I said, somebody said that you take money from the bank. And those days, that another friend said that he'll be going on to hand over his salary to his wife, who was nearby, so that it had 25. Thank God, I said. For that, he replied, did you see inside of my briefcase? I said, no. It had 75,000. This is the way you narrate a story, and we exchanged the briefcase, it was over. That's the way
Thank you, Mehjabin. It's a fantastic story with all the different elements, humor, surprise, everything. All right, we are at the end of the session. Back to the MC. Hope everyone enjoyed the table topic session.
In those days, for just one line, the briefcases look alike, like VIP, this color. You just take one, but just nothing. This is one of the stories. Okay.
Alright, I mean, to be honest, for me, table topic session is like very hard, very tough. You need a protein style of thinking and reciprocating. Thank God I used the word. Good. Now, as we have reached the end of the second pit stop, and before going on to the final destination, I would like, I'd like to ask the guests and everyone to take a 5-10 minutes break and assemble back here so that we reach our final destination and unlock evaluation. Until then, see you for the next 5 minutes. Thank you. I hope everyone had their evening snacks. Alright. Now, by looking at everyone's faces, they were satisfied with the samosas and the green tea. Welcome back to the good evening nostalgia after a small short break. Now, this is where we actually come to the final destination. Don't feel sad. Nostalgia, it just comes back over and over again. But for this meeting, the final destination, the final lock. The evaluation session. For this evaluation session to go smoothly and evaluate us like a class teacher during parents-teacher meeting, can we have general evaluator on the stage today?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanketh. As I mentioned earlier, my role as the general evaluator to evaluate the entire meeting right from the first minute till now. Right? So for every meeting to be successful, the efforts need to show up right from the time the sergeant at arms set foot in the meeting room. Sergeant at arms Toastmaster Lakshmi was here at 6 p.m. sharp, that is 15 minutes prior to the beginning of the meeting, and started preparations right away. A couple of others, Toastmaster Chetan and Toastmaster Upendra, did join hands to help her out. Well done, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Can we have a huge round of applause for the work that you did? During every meeting, it so happens that a few guests come to experience a typical Toastmaster meeting. Now, I want to ask the guest, how would you have felt if nobody had spoken to you till the meeting started? Lost probably. So that did not happen here because DTM U Bhat, DTM AKP, Toastmaster Upendra, Toastmaster Lakshmi and Toastmaster Chetan did make them feel comfortable before Toastmaster Sharanye entered saying, "None classmate sir, he's my classmate sir." So thanks to all of you for warmly welcoming the guests, as this is the first level of experience they get about how the club feels like. How do they feel, how welcome do they feel in this club? Right? Can we have a huge round of applause for all these people? The entire scene in the meeting room was one like buzzing with full of activity, a kind of nostalgic feeling. A part of the room looked like an exam hall just before the exam. Members preparing for their speeches, a speaker being nervous about how his speech would turn out, and so on. And the other part looked like a group of people were like as if the exam had just gotten over and they were happily discussing about what went well for them. So 6:22 p.m. The meeting hadn't started yet. The roles weren't completely filled yet. However, the room was slowly getting filled up with members and guests. Now, I have a request here. The meeting is supposed to start at 6:15 p.m. sharp, right? This is a common joke, an evergreen joke, that IST means not being on time. Now, I would suggest all of India is changing for the better now. So why not work on this particular IST? Let the effort start from this club itself, right? So that is one suggestion I would like to make. 6:26 p.m. President Toastmaster Balaji started the business meeting. He shared important points about what would be special about next week, an education session which is scheduled for next week, and who the speaker would be, Toastmaster Pawan. He gave a few points for the speaker and a little about what he would be speaking about. And the past president, Toastmaster Gaurav, reminded the members about the nomination for the next executive committee. So that was well taken care of. So before I get into the roles of the respective role takers, I would like to call upon the individual evaluators to give their feedback about the individual speeches given by 3 members today. So firstly, can I have the evaluator of the first speaker, Toastmaster Chetan Vasil? The evaluator was Toastmaster Latha N. Can I have you on stage?
Good evening once again, everyone in the room. Now I am here to evaluate Chetan Vasil for his icebreaker speech 0 to 29.5. Now, huge round of applause to Chetan for his first icebreaker speech. It takes a lot of effort for you to come from there to here. So let's give a huge round of applause. Now, if I have to sum up his whole prepared speech, I would sum it up as I, me, myself. That was all his speech about. These are 3 elements what we look into when a person starts with his icebreaker speech. He talks about his family, interest and profession. Not in the same order, but they have to speak about that. He started on a very good note. Confidence levels really good, eye contact really good, and we could see a calmness on his face, not nervousness. That was a very good thing, being his first icebreaker speech over here. He spoke about his family. He started with his family, about his mother, father, brother, and then he spoke about himself. Then it moved to his profession, when he spoke about that he's a software engineer. Then he smoothly moved to his interest, when he spoke in depth about his interest, how was his schooling, college, and what his interest, about his project, about his grandparents. So it moved on to a smooth transition. I would like to tell that since it's an icebreaker speech, I would like to talk more on the positives and not on, I wouldn't tell you negatives. I would talk about those particular components wherein he can do much better or he can improve. I wouldn't tell it as a roadblock. He can improve on his communication skills. That is the reason why he joined Toastmasters, because I remember telling him the reason why he joined Toastmasters. He was about to give a speech at his office and he couldn't do it, and then he thought, okay, I need to improve myself. That was the first step taken by him to improve his communication skills and leadership skills. So you're at the point where you can do it. You have to start walking on this path. You have just taken your first baby steps. Now you need to decide how fast, quick you want to walk on this path and how you want to improve. Your communication skills, your body language good, your eye contact is good. I know you can't talk about body language that much, but I would like you to see more on your body language and the pitch, tone, up and down what we have when we are stressing out on something. I would like to see more on that for you. And it was a very good speech with myself. I would summarize it that, and I hope to hear more speeches from you in the future. All the best and thank you.
Thanks for the wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Latha N. I would like to sum up her evaluation in 2 words: acknowledgement, encouragement. In one part, she acknowledged what went well for the speaker, his efforts, and what he did very well during the speech. And in the second part, this is his first speech on the stage. So doesn't he deserve words of encouragement? Tell me, Toastmaster Chetan, did that make you feel good? At the same time, did it help you pinpoint what are the areas you need to improve?
Yes.
Yeah. Toastmaster Latha rightly said, I will not use the word roadblock. She instead chose to encourage the speaker. That is the quality of a really encouraging evaluator, and that is what Toastmaster Latha did. Can we have a huge round of applause for the speaker, Toastmaster Shreya and Toastmaster Latha. The next speaker was Toastmaster Shreya. The evaluator was Toastmaster Jyothi. Can we have Toastmaster Jyothi on stage? Thank you, General Evaluator. Once again, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Shreya Rao's speech, best of both worlds. And we saw the best of her speech. I would give my evaluation in 3 parts, that is what you excelled at and what you can want to work on and challenge yourself. So you excelled at portraying, coming up with your confidence right from the beginning and removing the lectern and putting it aside and starting, because I think this is your second speech after your icebreaker, and just coming without a lectern is putting yourself in front of everyone, open and out there. So that was very well done. What you have also, your strength is also the humor that you add in your speech, like about the cashews that was put in the pav bhaji and what she said as the masala roll. So you have a very good way of flavoring your speeches with small words and expressing it in a humorous way. That was very well done. What you may want to work on is the pauses when required. At times your speed of words is quite fast. I think it should be a bit slow, because sometimes you are coming out with humor and many things that is happening, and the listener will fail to comprehend and connect it. So maybe if you are slow and then you give pauses at the right time, the depth of what you are trying to say will rise higher. And what you can, like for example, when you spoke about the traffic, continuously you spoke about the traffic, about one thing, the potholes, the cattle, the dogs, everything were together. But if there was a pause here and there and a big slope, we would have actually imagined a cow standing there and a pothole there or a dog somewhere. But all in all, you also have the strength of a good role play, like what you did in the end. You know, when there is a question, you came up on one side and the other side. That was very well enacted. Along with that, if you could do a bit of voice modulation, it would bring out much more humor, and the content would be quite deeply, because the topic was very good about comparing or talking about your life in two different countries. So you may work on that. Overall, you have a very good style of storytelling. You do have expressions and humor, which I'm sure over a period of time, as you refine it, it will define you in a much higher speaker. Thank you, and back to the general evaluation.
Two words stood out during the evaluation given by Toastmaster Jyothi. One is structure and the other is balance. So when it came to structure, she gave the entire feedback in a very structured manner. So Toastmaster Shreya, do you think you can remember this evaluation for a long period of time? The structure just helps you do that. And balance, she very beautifully highlighted what went really well for the speaker, and very softly she mentioned the improvement point also. So did you like the way that was done? Obviously. So she did strike a balance between what went well and what needed to be improved. That's the skill of a really good evaluator. And a huge round of applause to both Toastmasters Shreya and Toastmasters. Coming to the third speaker, Toastmaster Anusha Nair. The evaluator was Toastmaster Sharanye.
A very good evening to all of the Toastmasters and dear guests, and a special evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Anusha in particular. I would want to divide my evaluation into three parts: where you excelled at, where you may want to work on, and where you can challenge yourself. So let us start with where you excelled at. The title you chose, change. It's just a 5-letter word which seems really easy, but we know how complicated it is. We know about landline, we know about how it changed into smartphones. The new thing which you explained here to all of us here is the animal, the dinosaur. We just know that it is an extinct animal. Why it got extinct and the reason behind it was really very well explained. The body language that you inculcated in your speech was really great. You used a lot of hand gestures and even you moved in a little bit, which grabbed a lot of attention here. And the best part about your speech, and most of us here were admiring, was the language you used. You used some words like ability, refine, evolve, pursuit, naturally. The language comes here naturally to you, and most of us here have to inculcate it with a little bit of difficulty. So great job on that. And the eye contact you made was really great, and it showed that you were confident. You made it extremely relatable for all of us, because you spoke about smartphones, you spoke about animals, and you also spoke about one source all of us are living here is that ChatGPT. So that is also really great. And you also asked questions which made the audience focus towards your speech. And you had a lot of content, and you did a great job while expressing here also. And now coming to the places where you may want to work on, that is, like I told you, had great content. It's just that you have to add a little bit structure in your speech. In Toastmasters, we follow introduction, body, conclusion structure. So your introduction and body was really great. You just have to add a little bit of conclusion, like adding proverbs. You could have added something like change is the only constant thing that you can experience. So that would have made a little bit more interesting to the audience. And I felt you had a same pitch during your speech. So adding in a little bit of voice modulation will bring great effect, and it will take your speech into the next level. Another thing what you could have added here is adding a little bit of personal instances. Like you would have experienced some or the other change in your life. So when you add all those things, it will bring in a little bit of personal touch, which will take your speech to the next level, and audience also will be more interested in your life. Coming to the areas where you can challenge yourself is getting the notes. I know you barely even use the notes. I just spoke to you and you told you just prepared it 2 to 3 hours ago. You did not even use the notes, but because it was on the lectern, you were more tempted to use it. So that is the only one thing, and I know how difficult it is to leave the notes and just come behind the lectern and talk. But change is the only constant, so we have to inculcate that. And so all in all, it was a great speech. It was an amazing speech. Hoping to hear more from you. Thank you, and back to the gender evaluator.
Two words which got highlighted during Sharanye's evaluation is expectations and system. So in advance, she set the expectations to the speaker that this is how I am going to structure my evaluation. This is what you can expect. Point 1, 2, 3. So Toastmaster Anusha, did you have a clear idea of what you were going to expect from the evaluator? Yes. And this side it is system. Toastmaster Sharanye beautifully reminded the speaker of the Toastmaster system, like how the speeches are structured. So this will help the speaker plan their future speeches even better. So that was very well done. So can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Anusha and Toastmaster Sharanye. Now can we have the report from the TAPG? Timer, Toastmaster, Mehjabin.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sushma. So here goes my timer report for today's meeting. Business session goes for 2 minutes. It was allotted for 3 minutes. Welcome by Sajendraram's allotted 2 minutes, and it went for 3 minutes. Presidential address, it went on 10 minutes. It was allotted for 5 minutes. Introduction of Toastmasters of evening, it was 1 minute. It was time also allotted 1 minute. Report on previous meeting, it was time allotted 2 minutes. It went on 2.5 seconds. For today's speakers, Speaker 1, Toastmaster Chetan, took 6 minutes 19 seconds. Toastmaster Latha, individual evaluator for Toastmaster Chetan, she took 2 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Shreya, Speaker 2, she took 7 minutes 13 seconds. Toastmaster Jyothi, for individual evaluator of Shreya, she took 3 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Anusha, Speaker 3, she took 6 minutes 18 seconds. Toastmaster Sharanye, she was individual evaluator of Toastmaster Anusha, she took 3 minutes. And table topic master is Toastmaster Raja, he took 30 minutes for table topic session. On number of total topic, it was 9. Number of speakers, 9 speakers. And individual table topic speakers written over the board, just please take a look at it. And for general evaluator, 7 minutes, and it's still going on. Thank you. And back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehjabin. Time is a very important part of every Toastmaster meeting. And the way the meeting is chunked into very small portions, and each portion has a timing challenge attached to it, makes it all the more challenging. So the timer, Toastmaster Mehjabin, did a wonderful job in identifying the areas where the timing was met and where it exceeded, where it could have taken more time, right? So a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Mehjabin. Next we have the Announcer Toastmaster Badal. Can we have the report, please?
Again, once again, a very good evening to everyone. So, I'll be telling the people who are coming, fillers and cut shorts. The people whom I don't mention here, that means you're flawless. Okay? Instead of saying everyone is flawless, I'll just say who had the cut words and the fillers. So coming to the President Toastmaster Balaji at 2 hours. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sanketh at 2 hours. Timer, Toastmaster Mehjabin at 1 hour. Coming to the speeches, the first speaker, Toastmaster Chetan at 3 hours and 2 hours. The second speaker, Toastmaster Shreya, didn't have any hours or but she had 2 crutch words, and you know. Coming to the third speaker, Toastmaster Anusha at 2 hours and 1 Coming to the evaluators, Toastmaster Jyothi at 4 hours, Toastmaster Sharanye at 3 hours. Coming to the table topic speeches, the first speaker, Toastmaster Mehjabin at 2 hours, the fifth speaker, Toastmaster Jyothi at 1 hour, and DTM K Prabhakara at 1 hour. That's it from my end. Remaining speakers who are behind the lectern, who I didn't call out, were flawless. Thank you and bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for the detailed evaluation. Next, we have a parliamentary procedure evaluator, Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Judge Evaluator, Toastmasters and guests, there is no talk about sex, religion or politics, and I haven't heard a single phone ring today. And also all the exit and entry was done when the applause was going on, so it was a very smooth and clear meeting. Thank you.
Each of the role takers have an opportunity to speak about their role even as creatively as possible. And Toastmaster Sai Snehal did exactly that when he spoke about his role as the parliamentary procedure evaluator. So a huge round of applause. Next, we have the grammarian, DTM AKG.
Word of the day was not used, if I remember. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Word of the day, you used it.
Must have said it.
Used it, but I could not really relate to what you are trying to say. Maybe it was used for the sake of using it. I'm not trying to saying it's right or wrong, but sometimes the word, even it's complicated and not used much, if it is brought into play, people, members try to use it for the sake of using it without the right context. So let's forget about it, but that's how I felt at the end of it. Having made that point, I would like to point out what the phrases that went, that were impressive. Comfort zone, books have taken me through space and time, cloud nine, nerve-wracking question, climate change, or whether this, I was not sure. A person in a local Delhi, weather is different, Bangalore it's different, whereas it's a location as far as the weather is concerned. With respect to the planet, it's climate. So whether US versus India, is it we should be talking with respect to the weather or climate is something that needs to be thought about. Please be alert towards that. Because there was a big issue on this in Twitter when Trump made a mistake about the planet weather is improving. It has not changed. Then one kid pointed out saying that you are talking about climate, not weather. So she was given scholarship. So right usage has the right weightage. Please make sure of that usage. And culture shock, that was a good usage. Roller coaster ride, pushed out of cocoon, battle of survival, embrace change, story stick, that was, I think it was impressive. Personal branding, it was useful, like knowing that kind of phrase. And not so good usage was write down the memory line. I think it's going down the memory line. So that's the way usage I'm talking. And Jyothi Rao, I think she mentioned about while inviting Jyothi Rao, it was said that should it be calling to the stage or is it calling to the lectern? We are always inviting speakers to the lectern, not the stage. So please be sure that the right kind of word is used. And it is not Shreya Rao, it is Shreya Rao. So I am called differently, AKP, and Prabhakar, Prabhakara, Prabhakaran. So you should be sure of the kind of thing. So in Bengali I have been called Prabhakar, but when they write Prabhakar. So these are all things that we should be sure. The name is the best way into the person's heart. So you should be sure of that, and pronunciation has to be right. And that's about it. And one of the most impressive thing that I came across is it's nothing to do with grammar, but it's the way the people speak. There are three different things that happen today. Mostly, one is the flawless delivery that we saw in the speech of the president. Then excellent flow in Toastmaster Lakshmi's speech. Then Chetan's speech, I would say the ease with which he spoke. It is not quantifiable, it's abstract, but you watch on that kind of thing. And when it comes to Shreya, smooth flow of words, there was nothing like she struggled to find a word, it was not there, it was very impressive. Then when it comes to Anusha Nayak, something that was very, very impressive was that there was a rhythm in her speech, if you watch. There was a rhythm. And she was literally hand-holding the audience as to what she was trying to convey. So these are all the impressive. And there were some excellent table topic response. I don't want to go, it's too much. It's much beyond the time allotted. But these are the things that we can make a note and try to emulate. That's the reason I made it a point to tell the audience. Over to general evaluation.
Thanks for the very detailed evaluation, DTM AKP sir. Just having the right knowledge about one word change the life itself of a kid, right? That's the power of each word. So Toastmasters, DTM AKP sir did highlight its importance really well, and a huge round of applause to DTM AKP sir. Now, coming to the Sergeant at Arms role. Before that, I'm not the only person in this room giving feedback. Each of you have the opportunity to give your feedback to all the speakers and role takers. The ballot sheets have been shared. You can enter whatever you feel like doing. And online also a link would have been shared by now to identify the best speaker, table topic speaker, and so on. So you can keep yourself up to date. So coming to the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Lakshmi Chandrasekhar. You started on a really pleasant and energetic note, a positive note, a very interesting introduction, full of humor, and you started introducing us to the theme. You made us feel the theme, like nostalgia, a mix of sentiment and affection. You actually presented a visual reminder of your teenage days, right? You reflected on, and the most beautiful part is this. The theme is nostalgia. She shared some beautiful memories of her own life, and very beautifully she brought in Toastmasters journey. So she made the members reflect on their own Toastmasters journey. That's the beauty with which she was able to weave it really well as one single piece. That was very well done. Then the introduction to the president. That's a very important part of a Sergeant at Arms address. So this was done really well. You highlighted his achievement. You did not tell the name first. You highlighted his achievement. You gave some kind of positive build-up, and then you highlighted that point about his qualities, that students kept coming back to see him. That's a very beautiful thing to say, right? You then introduced Toastmaster Balaji, the president of the meeting, on a really positive note. That was really well done. So a huge round of applause for Toastmaster. Then coming to the President's address, Toastmaster Balaji. He thanked the Sergeant at Arms for the introduction, which seemed nostalgic for many here. Then he introduced the guests. This is a very important part. Here, each of the guests did get an opportunity to speak about why they came here, what made them came here, what are their expectations. And that also gave them a chance to speak in public. So that was very well done by the president. He used a very good phrase. A lot of academic geniuses are there. That's a wonderful way of complimenting the achievement of the guests who are present here. Did you feel happy? Yes, naturally. Then he spoke about the theme. He complimented the secretary for the wonderful introduction, and then the next step is to introduce the secretary. Now, Toastmaster Balaji is known for his humor, so he has the ability to stitch humor wherever required, and that is what he exactly did when he said the good kids for Toastmaster Sharanye. And the secretary, Toastmaster Sharanye, then gave a detailed secretary's report. This showcases the seriousness with which each meeting in Mekon Toastmasters is conducted. The president then pounded the gavel for opening the meeting, and then he spoke around the theme, a blend of humor, nostalgia, storytelling, playing with words, and he took us all down his own memory lane. Now, that's not all. The role of the president is also to introduce the powerhouse of the entire meeting, that is the MC, right? And this has to be done on a very high positive note. And the way he introduced the MC was really good. He introduced him as an ultra naughty person, which the MC proved time and again during his address. Toastmaster Sanketh, the MC. You started your MC's address with, "It's always amazing to be back on stage." When you said that, it's like, okay, this is my time on stage, I own this stage. You made us feel that. That was very well done. So, and then you added a bit of fun also. "Good evening." Everybody replied instantly. We could connect with you, and then you twisted it, nostalgia. That was really well done. It's a way of connecting with the audience. That's the first thing the MC needs to do, because you are the one who will be guiding us through the entire meeting. Then you shared a couple of stories that was beautifully done. The first story was about the history of Toastmasters. One point would be, when you shared the history, you mentioned Dr. Ramsey's medley, you mentioned Santa Ana, California. You could have shared a bit more. The date, October 22nd, 1924. And then, where was the first Toastmaster meeting held? In the basement of YMCA, California. What was the purpose? So why did Dr. Ramsey's medley start Toastmasters? You could have given a little more information about that. And there was another story on similar lines, so which you connected with the theme. Points which stood out during the MC's address is great confidence. You have an amazing stage presence. You can work on it and become even better, right? There are 3 or 4 points which I would like you to take as improvement and work on that. When you introduced the GE, you used an analogy, like classroom, headmaster, right? That was nice. Then, when you started introducing the role takers and speakers, you changed the analogy. Pitch stop 1, pitch stop 2. Maybe something you could have done more. Instead of mixing different analogies, you could have used the single one, so that the flow would have been even more thoughtful, better, right? That is just a suggestion. And then, the most important role of an MC is to inform people about the flow of the entire meeting and the reason why that particular session is kept in a Toastmasters meeting. That was not done very effectively. Maybe you can work more on that. Like when it comes to prepared speeches, give the introduction. Why is it kept?
In what context in real life do you come across situations like this? It could be giving presentations in your office. And you may have a higher chance of impressing your boss compared to others because you are a Toastmaster, because you have a practice. Then table topics. What is table topics all about? You could have given more information. It's like it will help. See, regular members will know what it is all about. That's not a problem. But when it comes to guests, they will have an expectation. Like, what is this meeting about? Why are there different sections? What is the use? What can I take back from this meeting? All those can be answered even better. And then that was it. That was just a couple of points which you could have worked on. Other than that, excellent job done, and the audience thoroughly enjoyed your MC's address. A huge round of applause to the MC. Coming to the next session, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Raja Prasad. The concept chosen was really beautiful. The topics were very interesting. And the choice of people you chose for different topics was also good, right? One thing, this is just a suggestion. It's not that it's a mistake or anything, this is just a suggestion. When you choose a particular theme or whatever, make it a little more simple so that it will give more scope, more opportunity for the person to think and speak more. See, there's a particular reason why the table topic session is kept in Toastmasters. The purpose was not shared very effectively. You need to highlight the system more as a role taker in a very creative manner. The concept was good, but you could have worked on it a little more. See, table topics are kept in Toastmasters to help speakers think on their feet. That is one. And then it to quickly arrange how well do you structure your thoughts in those 2 minutes. You are given a topic suddenly and you need to speak about it. Immediately you need to structure it. How do you do it? Opening, body, conclusion, problem, solution, cause, effect. How do you do it? How effectively do you do it? And is that all? It's not just about speaking here in Toastmasters. It's not just about the capacity of a speaker to speak for 2 full minutes. It's about how relevantly a speaker speaks, how effectively a speaker speaks. Just imagine in your real life, you are you are waiting very much to meet the CEO of your company, who is a very hard to get person, and out of the blue, you get a chance to speak to him in the elevator. He's right next to you. You get tongue-tied. What do? How can you afford to miss the chance? If you have practice here in this forum, speaking on the spot, thinking and speaking on the spot, you can make use of that opportunity in real life really well. That's the key point of why a table topic session is kept, right? So, and coming to, even though it is shown red, I'm sorry, I have to continue.
Can you back down? We are running out of time. It's already 8:45.
Oh.
I think we should have left by this time. We should back down. Next person is in many.
No, just a couple of points.
Let's close it. And can you quickly distribute the ribbon? Don't take time. She got up. She got up without you.
Said she's very diligent.
Please finish.
So thank you very much for this opportunity as a general evaluator. Now I would like to hand over the stage to the acting president Toastmasters.
Please sit down. We'll give you one more opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vijay and Sushma, for that wonderful session, detailed session. So now let us move on to the award session. So I'll start off with the TAPG. The TAPG goes to Grammarian DTM A K Prabhakara.
photograph. This is rare because
now coming to the MTG role taker, it is the table topic master Toastmaster Raja. And now coming to the best table topic speaker, it again goes to distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara. And now coming to the best evaluator, it is me.
they have to hand over. The IPP, immediate past president is the official officer. No, she should hold it closer to her because there is no other.
And now coming to the best speaker, it goes to Toastmaster Anusha. Thank you everyone, and now I close meeting number 1241 and I request everyone to stand up for